Hey guys, so this next group of exercises is kind of a home exercise program that you can do without any equipment from home. So we're going to do a sit to stand, a push up, a step up, a row, all these different exercises. You can do them along with me in order. Every different exercise is going to try and use very little, if any, equipment, maybe some soup cans, and then just choose the level of difficulty of every exercise that's appropriate for you. So I can't just say everyone should do this exercise because everyone's at a different place. So you pick what's appropriate for you. How to determine what's appropriate: if you can do at least 10 of the exercise with no pain, good technique, good form, then that's not too hard for you. If you can easily do 20, you're ready to move on to the next level of this exercise. All right, so this is going to be a home exercise program. Follow along, and if you can do more than 20, it's time to move on to the next level. All right. Okay, so here is the sit to stand exercise. I'm going to show you guys easy, medium, and hard for this one. So basically, when we do a sit to stand, the higher the chair, the easier it is, especially on your hips and your knees, and you'll find it easier to activate your glute muscles, which I'll talk about. So we have these chair lifts. Not everybody has these at home, but we get to use them here. So just find the highest chair that you can find, basically. So when we do a sit to stand, I like to sit on the edge of the seat. Higher the chair, the easier it is. I put my hands out in front of me or somewhere around here, just in front to counterbalance your weight. Squeeze your butt first, push your hips forward, and sit back down. And squeeze your butt, push your hips forward, and sit back down. When we do a squat, we are using, or a sit to stand, we're using our quadricep muscle as well as our glute muscle. If you don't think about using this, you won't. You're primarily going to feel it here. So I need you guys to think about using this before you push off. So squeeze butt, push hips forward, back down. Another thing I'm looking for during the squat or the sit to stand is that your knees don't collapse inwards. So if you stand up and your knees go like this, that's no good. Okay? I want to keep your knees over top of your second toe. That's about where I want to keep them. Squeeze butt, push hips forward, back down. Now from there, that's how to do it. The way we make it harder is the lower the chair, the harder it is. So standard chair height, we're going to sit on here, squeeze your butt, push your hips forward, sit back down. Your feet can be about hip width apart. Do what's comfortable for you. A little bit wider, a little bit more narrow is fine, as long as you are squeezing your butt and keeping your knees over top of your toes. We want to try to get to feel it in our butts, okay? The next hardest version is going to be down at our feet. So I want you to stagger your feet. So your back foot is going to have to be farther back than your front foot. Okay, so from there, for me, it'll be my right foot is the harder one. Left foot is not going to be working too much. Right butt squeeze, push hips forward. You'll be quite surprised how much of your right side you use. This, I feel like I'm working about 80% my right leg, 20% my left leg. So right butt squeeze, back down. This one we do need to do on both sides. So switch legs, and then I'll do my left leg. Squeeze butt, push hips forward, sit back down. Once again, watching this knee, don't let it collapse inwards like that. I want to keep it out there, okay? Up and down we go. So that's the sit to stand exercise. Okay, so this next exercise is the standing counter push-up. So find a counter, something that's not going to move. The higher the counter, the easier it is. Lower the counter, the harder it is. Don't do this on your kitchen table or something that might actually move. Start with your hands slightly wider than your chest, and then we're going to lower your chest into the counter. So some people kind of go like this, and other people bring their neck into it. I want to bring the center of your chest into the countertop and push yourself back up. You don't have to go all the way down, but the harder you go, the lower you go, the harder it is. Down and back up. Let your heels come up off the ground. They don't need to stay on the ground. You're rocking kind of back and forth, pivoting about your toes. Let your heels come up off the ground. So down, back up. If you want to make this a little bit harder before moving to the next hardest exercise, move your feet a little bit farther back and still bring your chest into the countertop, and that would be a little bit harder than having your feet a little bit closer. So do as many of those as you can. If you can do 20 or more without much of a problem, you're ready for the next exercise, which would be, or the next level, which would be the floor, the kneeling push-up. Okay, so this next exercise is going to be a floor push-up. So there's two ways we can do a floor push-up. One is from our knees, one is from our feet. The feet version would be harder. So start laying on your belly, hands slightly wider than your shoulders. I don't want to go super wide and I don't want to be really narrow. Somewhere almost just outside your armpits. Level 1 would be push straight up and leave your knees on the ground. I want to see overall your body should move together. Like this should all be come up together. I don't want to see you come up like this. And we're also not doing push-ups like this. So you could even start in this position maybe with a flat line from your shoulders down to your knees, chest to the ground, back up. If you can't make it all the way down to the ground, just go as far as you can. Push down and back up. If that feels okay, you can go up to your feet like this and lower to the ground, back up, lower to the ground, back up. So that would be a kneeling and a foot push-up. Yeah, that's the harder versions of the counter push-up. So between the three, always when we're doing these, we want to work from easy to harder. If you can do more than 20 of a given exercise, then it's time to move on to the next level. All right? So the next exercise is the step up. So the step up, just go to any stairs that you have in your house. The bottom stair is the best. I don't want you doing this step up exercise on any higher stairs for fall reasons. On the lowest stair in a staircase. And we're going to put one leg up on the step. Want to make sure your whole foot's on the step, not just your toe. I want the whole foot there. So when we do a step up, there's two joints that are working, your hip and your knee. Your hip's job is to extend the hip, that's your glute muscle that's working. And your knee's job, or quadriceps job, is to extend the knee. So we're working both muscles. Quite often people feel it all here. I want you to think about feeling it in your butt. So squeeze the butt first, step up and down, step up and down. Actively thinking about squeezing your butt to do so. This one we do need to do on both sides, so you can switch to your right side. And right butt squeeze, up and down. You can do as many as you can. If you can get to 20 with no pain, no problems, then that's great. You can try a higher step. The last thing I'm looking for is I don't want your knee to be caving in when you do it. Keep your knee over top of your second toe, and we're going up and down, still squeezing the glute, up and down, but don't let that happen, all right? That is the step up exercise. Okay, so this next one is going to be how to use kind of your back muscles or get your back muscles starting to work without any equipment. So I like using an elastic row or using some free weights, but if we don't have anything at home, this is kind of a good beginner way to start. So your shoulder blades, I want you just to pinch those back and together and then forwards. I'll pretend like I'm grabbing something with my hands and pull your elbow back and squeeze your shoulder blades together. We're going to hold that for about 2 to 5 seconds. So out, squeeze shoulders together, and forward. I want to see vertical lines in the back of your shirt. Elbows back, squeeze shoulders together, forward. So do about 5 to 10 of these. Give it a good hold, a good squeeze. You're going to feel the muscle between your shoulder blade and your spine. That's where you should be feeling this one. Okay? Okay, so this next exercise is going to be a shoulder press using something very light. So something around your house that you have. You could use milk jugs, and the nice part about like a 2-liter or even a 4-liter milk jug, the more you fill it up, the heavier it gets. We'll start with some pretty basic, really light. These are probably half a pound, something like a soup can in your house. The heavier or bigger the soup can, the heavier it gets. So you can choose like the appropriate load that you want to use. How we do a shoulder press is bring your hands pretty close to your shoulders, push straight up to the sky, come back down, touch your shoulders. Up to the sky, back down, touch your shoulders. If it's easier for you, you can do one arm at a time. Doesn't really make a difference if you do two. And I want you to try and push as vertically as you can that's comfortable. I don't want to see you going super forward, and I also don't want to see you going out to the side. So we're going straight up and down just like that. And then choose the appropriate load or challenge or weight that you're going to be using. When you're ready for the next level, just grab something heavier. If you can do at least 20, it's time to move up to your to a heavier level. Okay, so this next exercise is the glute bridge. So the glute bridge ideally takes place from the ground on a hard surface. You can do it from your bed if you're not able or willing to get down to the ground, but it's better on a hard surface. So from here, ideal way to lay down is not lying back this way. That can be a bit harder on your back if your back's not strong enough. So best way to lay down on the ground is onto your side and then roll over onto your back. From here, I like to shuffle around so that my feet are flat on the ground and feet as close to your butt as you can get them. So get them pretty close. It doesn't work as well if they're really far away. So a little bit closer there. I put my hands on the ground by your side just for a little bit extra stability. And then from here, what we do is squeeze your belly, squeeze your butt, push your hips up to the sky, hold that for a couple seconds, and back down. And then once again, squeeze belly, squeeze butt, push hips up, and back down. We're going to do this 5 to 10 times. If you feel it in your hamstring and the back of your leg, that means that we're not activating your glutes properly. So I want you to squeeze the butt before you lift up. If you can't get it figured out, we might need to work with you individually to get you to be able to turn these muscles on. But yeah, I don't want you to feel hamstring cramps when you're doing it. Should be in the butt. Squeeze butt, push up, hold for a couple seconds, back down, and that is the glute bridge.